Who is the number 2 diecast brand behind Hot Wheels? It looks like your son follows your taste in the fantasy realm. But yeah.
I knew that was coming. You know what's even funnier is I did not take your word for that. I went and did my own research and went, he's right.
So I'm going to have to contradict myself and say there is no way I'm missing out on this one, and I absolutely love it. I will say that it did make me question my life and think to myself, why am I not collecting 118? And then I kind of slapped myself across the face and said, no, 164, the rabbit hole's already deep enough. Do not even consider it.
Welcome back to the Diecast Podcast. My name's Matt from Mini Car Realm, and joining me today is an entrepreneur, key opinion leader, and all-round good guy, my co-host, Boy Racer Ben. Ben, how are you, mate?
Good, mate.
Was that the intro or what?
It was key opinion leader. You didn't know what that was until I informed you what a key opinion leader was last week.
As soon as you told me, I just went, that's going in the podcast, that is.
I was joking around when I was calling you a key opinion leader, but, I guess, that's the direction we're heading. And, soon enough, I'll mentor you. I'll take you under the wing, and you will also be a key opinion leader.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Look, that's what I'm here for. That's the reason I came on this journey, is I'm just waiting for you to open the wing.
Mate, how you been? What's been happening?
Mate, busy, but looking forward to diving into this episode. And I believe that you have a very juicy question to get us kick started.
Okay, obviously we've got Hot Wheels, but what do you think is the top 164 diecast brand behind Hot Wheels? What is the most selling? What is the best and best selling 164 brand behind Hot Wheels?
It's the best. So who's running number 2, basically?
Who is the number 2 diecast brand behind Hot Wheels? Exactly. In short.
And we're basing that on sales?
I think we have to, yeah. I think we have to base it around sales. Well, that's really what
makes Hot Wheels number 1.
It does, 100%, yeah. Sales and hype.
That's a tough one because I haven't seen any of the sales figures.
It is.
I don't know what brands like Matchbox do. Obviously, being backed by Mattel. I mean, if I had to the first brand that comes to my mind is Mini GT.
I agree. Well, I agree with you there, 100%. I'd say Mini GT is, in my opinion, the number 2 diecast brand behind Hot Wheels. So I think we are in agreement on that one there.
Here I was thinking you were going to fight me on that. I thought, here we go. Who are you going to pull up here? No, it's not Oz Wheels.
It isn't Oz Wheels. However, I guess the only thing that leads into this is there an up and coming brand that you think could potentially overtake Mini GT as the number 1 brand over the next few years?
Well, I think Pop Race is part of the conversation for sure. There's certainly become a household name, so I think Pop Race has to be there. I'm just trying to think who else. Who else do you think?
I think it comes back to the conversation on our last podcast about it being a good time to be a collector, and there's so much competition out there, and there is so much.
Yeah, true.
There is so much diversity out there, but I think for me, you've hit the nail on the head with Pop Race. Just the models they're releasing, and we had a bit of a sneak peek recently of what's coming out, and they do make the thing about Pop Race and Mini GT is they seem to make just totally different cars. You'd agree with me there, I think, as well. Just the style of the cars that they make is just completely different. So I'd say Pop Race more sort of a modified. They make more modified cars than stock cars. So Mini GT does a lot of stock cars. They do their modified, Liberty Walk cars, but I think Pop Race just in general does a lot more modified cars, and obviously with the opening hoods, all at a decent price point. I think if Pop Race continues to go the way they're going now, I think, in the next couple of years, they definitely have the opportunity to level up with Mini GT or potentially even overtake it.
Yeah, I think the reason that I think if we're honest, the reason that Hot Wheels are the number one brand is obviously price and longevity of the brand and the range
Prestige.
of what they do.
Yeah.
Prestige, yeah. So they do a lot of stock cars, they do a lot of modified stuff. They even delve obviously into the fantasy world, the tuned, etc. So there's a wide range that appeals to a large audience, and I think that's where or why potentially Mini GT would be running in that second piece because they've got all the stock cars, but they've also got the Liberty Walks and the Vertex and those sort of brands.
I think I
I
need to correct myself. I think I did say number one, didn't I? I intended on saying Pop Race moving up level with Mini GT, but yeah, Hot Wheels. I don't think Hot Wheels will ever be taken for number one. So Hot Wheels will always be number one, and I think Pop Race potentially, move into that number two position. I did say to number one, didn't I?
Oh, to be honest, I didn't pick it up. I interpreted it as moving up to level with Mini GT. I think every brand would be aspiring to absolute greatness to exceed Hot Wheels. Just they've just been around for so long, and there's such a hardcore fan base attached to Hot Wheels. For any brand to especially as young as what Mini GT or Pop Race and any of the really the other diecast brands are, to try and compete with the licensing setups that Hot Wheels have and the brand deals and all the things that just the brand that is Mattel, the toy brand that is Mattel. It's a juggernaut. There's no doubt about it. Certainly, when you talk number two, I think Mini GT's there just because of they really sort of cater to a number of different audiences. The other one that I think has to be part of the conversation because they're doing a similar thing is Tarmac Works. I think there's a lot of other brands. There's obviously tons of brands of diecast these days, and there seems to be more coming out of the woodwork every week. However, a lot of them have a very specific market that they're aiming for, or a specific, whether it's like Hobby Japan where they're just doing JDMs, very good ones, but it's just JDMs. But yeah, Tarmac, they're releasing a significant number of castings each month, and there's quite a large range. So they're catering to the motorsport crowd, they're catering to the stock car crowd, they're doing some castings that no one else is doing. So similar to Mini GT and Pop Race, in respect to they've started to build a pretty solid fan base even just around that brand as well. So I think they'd have to be part of the conversation as well if they continue to do what they're doing.
I would agree with you. However, I don't, and I would say Inu is almost on top of Tarmac at the moment. The good thing is that, that's my opinion. I think Inu would probably sell more than Tarmac. I could be wrong. The good thing is there's so much
miles off.
Oh, well, a very interesting question. So, who knows?
No, look, I haven't seen the numbers on either. Obviously,
look, do they even release the numbers? I don't even know.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they probably don't. And look,
I would say no.
The brands themselves probably don't know. If they're comparing themselves against the other brand. But yeah, I would be very surprised if we're outselling just purely based on the volume of releases that they put out. They're not putting out anywhere near as many as what Tarmac put out.
This is true. Anyway, interesting question. And the good thing is there's so much opportunity for any of the up-and-coming diecast brands to really make a name for themselves and cement themselves up there at the moment.
For sure. There's a huge community, and there's a lot of people with different tastes. So there's a market there really for anyone to come in and disrupt the game. But it's a good question, mate. I like that. That's certainly a juicy one. Really without it's purely speculation really on our behalf because we neither of us have seen the numbers, but a good question nonetheless.
So yeah, I think the one thing that we can agree on is that Hot Wheels, the prestige and um, the class behind Hot Wheels, the base that everyone starts collecting from, I think we can both agree that's staying on top. Talking about Hot Wheels, something we both had our eyes on this week, RLC World. What were you watching?
I was watching the GD40. Is that what you're talking about as well?
That's exactly where I was heading. I had my eye on the GT40 as well, which I think we can both agree. I think everyone agrees that it did not sell out. It's still for sale, so we still have the opportunity to pick up the GT40.
Yeah, I almost pulled the trigger. I really like this casting. I really do. It's the iconic Le Mans livery. It's really well done. There's not too many things I don't like about this thing, except the price. I know I checked in with you to see whether you bought it, and you didn't either. And I went, oh, I'm not the only one. But I literally got to the checkout. I had it in my cart. I got to the checkout, and it put the postage on top of it. And as soon as I saw the postage go on top, for anyone that's not Australian that's listening to this podcast, for an Australian to buy from Mattel, you're looking at $35 postage. So that on top of what is already a $66 car in Australian dollars is nearly a $100 car. Now, my mind, just before I hit the buy button, my mind immediately went to what can I buy for nearly 100 Australian dollars? And I thought, well, that's nearly 4 mini GTs, probably nearly 4 pop race. And I thought, well, what would I prefer? I'd probably prefer to go and buy, honestly, I'd probably prefer to go and buy 4 cars that I like and not have the RLC. Now, where I am prepared to pay that sort of dollars is on something that I can't get in any other brand. So, for example, when Hot Wheels did the lowriders, no one else is doing a
Yeah.
lowrider with, adjustable wheels and all that sort of stuff. I'd happily pay that nearly $100 for that RLC. I would have paid that for the RWB. When they inevitably do a Ferrari at some point, I'll probably pay it for that. Just be, a big Ferrari fan. But with the GT, I feel like there's a lot of other brands. Ford hand out their license pretty happily. I feel there's a lot of other brands that do GTs. I know I've got mini GT, Ford GTs, and there's a lot of them that do it well. Now, I haven't got anything that looks like this in the original Le Mans livery, but I don't know, I just couldn't pull the trigger on it. How about you?
Look, I think it's not just an Australian problem, it's a worldwide problem. So I think there's been a lot of
Yeah,
people
okay.
complaining about the price of RLC, even in the US. Obviously, their postage is a lot cheaper than what our postage is for RLC. But I think even the price point still, like you said, for us, posted $100, that's your 3 pop race, 4 mini GTs. It is a big difference. I think for us, collectors of other brands as well, it leaves us with a lot more options. Where if you're a Hot Wheels purist, you're definitely going to be picking this one up. And I think we're almost at the point that RLC is for Hot Wheel purists, I think, with the price point.
Mm.
I think we're at the point that there's a lot
Yeah,
less
I
people
think
buying
you might be right.
RLCs. I think there's only 2 people that buy RLCs. There's one, the Hot Wheels purist, or there's the scalper. And obviously, the scalpers know that the Ford GT isn't going to be a profitable buy. Hence, that's why it didn't sell out. So it leaves it only for the Hot Wheelers purists. So it's either a popular model, it gets scalped, and the purists attempt to buy it, or you get a model that the scalpers think they can't make money on, so it doesn't sell out. I think that's the point that we're at with RLC, which is a little bit sad. It would be good if everyone could get hold of a good model, and if a model like this was a little bit cheaper, just to make it more enticing for the everyday and all brand collectors like ourselves.
You know what? I hadn't thought along those lines before, but I
I
reckon
know.
that's a really good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I do. I really think that's a really good call. Yeah, you're right. The RLC is definitely trending towards a product that is for the Hot Wheels purist, or in some cases, not all, clearly not this one, the scalper. Yeah, hadn't thought of it like that before, but it's I think you're pretty right. You're right on there. It's the ones that are it's the ones where you can't just go and buy it somewhere else. Like I said, the lowriders are a prime example where you will dish out the money for it, but otherwise, you've got a lot of collectors who do, like you and I, collect quite a lot of different brands, and you've got options. And it's not, by no means do I want this piece to be a reflection of, hey, I didn't like the casting. I absolutely love the casting. If it was $20 cheaper, even, I'd consider it. But $100, it's just at that point where it's just that little bit too much for me.
Number one, a little bit cheaper, and potentially more availability for the Mattel Australian website as well, would also do us a huge favour. But yeah, I think we both.
I don't think this one even went up on the Australia website.
No, I don't think a lot do. But we can both agree this car looked great. Wheel combo, they've got the new style wheels, so it was a good looking car. We've both passed HKS Supra. What are your thoughts on that? Are you picking that up? Because I think it's still available. You've got a bit of time to pre-order this one.
Yeah, I noticed it was a pre-order one. Look, no, I'm not. Pretty much the same reason. I've got a lot of Supras. I actually like it. There's nothing I don't like about it, to be honest. I thought it was a cool design, but I don't really need it in my collection. I've got Supras in numerous other brands. And as much as I like the HKS design, the HKS branding, I don't know, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, I think same again, price-wise. It's a little bit up there once we add the postage. I have already got a Supra, the first RLC release, so for me, there's no need to pick up another one.
Oh, you got your first one, did you?
I did get the first one. I believe it was red. It was red, wasn't it? No, that was the RX-7 blue. The Supra was the first Supra was blue. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I passed on the RX-7 and the Supra, but I don't really have any regrets for that either. But like I just said, there's plenty of other brands and engine bay detail and all that sort of stuff, just a lot better. But anyway, it was a pass for me. Not to say though that once again, I'm not having a stab at the casting or the design. I actually think it looks really good. Just the price point versus what you're getting for that. It's a tough one for me.
Awesome. So as we speak, we'll actually speak in terms of the future. Right now, I think maybe 2 hours, 3 hours from now, we've got another. I think it's not actually RLC, but we've got another car releasing on Mattel's website. Do you know what it is?
Yes, I did see it. The Daniel Arsham Porsche. Is that what you're referring to?
That's exactly what I'm referring to. But by the time the podcast comes out, I will be able to say that I have passed on this model.
Did you get any of the original Daniel Arsham cars?
Look, for me, it's not down the line of collecting that I like to go. So I did pass.
Yep.
I think there was probably one Porsche that I didn't mind. But yeah, the previous set, not down my line of collecting, I suppose.
Yep. Yeah, look, before I started collecting Hot Wheels, I appreciated Daniel Arsham's work. I think it's really cool. So I did pick up a couple of the original Arshams. One thing that I really liked, probably more than the cars itself, which sounds crazy, the packaging was insane. I don't know if you saw any videos of the packaging where it sort of you'd opened it up as it was almost like a bifold. Yeah, type setup, and the model itself would like rise out of the box. It was really cool. But yeah, look, I won't pick up this Porsche. It just doesn't do anything for me. And if I felt like it was sort of in the same line as the others, I'd probably potentially look at it closer. But look, I like what Daniel Arsham does. I love that Hot Wheels are collaborating with him. I'm sure there'll be a bunch of Porsche nuts that will be all over it.
Look, I think it's going to sell out quite fast. I don't think they would have made a
Yeah.
great number of these.
Yeah,
You
agreed.
know, we're looking at 130 Australian dollars plus postage. For me, yeah, not down my line of collecting, so I just cannot justify $130. And for me, it's quite, it's quite a plain looking Porsche as well. Just,
Mm.
it's nice packaging, and we're just going off the name, really, aren't we? That's what the price tag comes with, doesn't it?
Yeah, I understand it's a replica of one of Daniel's Porsches. So I think that's
Yeah.
where the color and all that sort of thing comes from. But yeah, anyway, moving on. I did want to quickly touch base on, obviously, in the last podcast we spoke about the RC R32, the Pandem R32. As predicted, it went bunter. I said on the last podcast that I really wanted to get one. I missed the Australian sales date, and I also missed the US sales date, and I didn't get one. How about yourself? I don't think you were going to go for it anyway.
No, I wasn't planning to. To tell you the truth, I completely forgot it was even coming up that night, and I think I was at work, so I wasn't staying up late to pick it up. So,
Yeah, fair.
pass for me. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Hey, before we move on from Hot Wheels, because there hasn't been a whole lot of other releases outside of those that we've discussed, before we do move on, I just want to quickly make or do a quick shout out. So I know I've been pretty public on this podcast about not collecting mainlines, but recently here in South Australia, I don't think you've got them in WA where you are. But here in South Australia, we've got Drake's Supermarkets. JP Drake, a South Australian businessman, is a Hot Wheels collector himself. And their supermarkets at the moment have a Hot Wheels promo where, you buy X amount of groceries and you get free Hot Wheels cars. So my two sons have been collecting these Hot Wheels. Anyway, my son the other day, my youngest son, who's only 5, said to me, "Dad, now here's here you can have this one, and I really want you to talk about it on your podcast." And it was it was the first time that I realised that he knew anything about the podcast, but he obviously does. I've obviously talked about it with my wife, and my
Yeah, yeah.
oldest son sort of says, "Oh, Dad, I liked your video for you," stuff like that. But anyway, so I said, "Oh, yeah, right, mate, righto," and I sort of put it on my desk. And a couple of days later, he said, "Have you talked about it on your podcast yet, Dad?" I said, "No, I haven't." Anyway, so I said to him, "Righto, I will talk about it." He said, "Yeah, righto, I'm going to check out, I'm going to check and see whether you do." So here it is. I'm talking about it. It is the Night Shifter. For those of you that know the Hot Wheels castings, is a fantasy type casting. And if you do know what that is, good on you. I didn't. I had to look it up. But they have done this one in a fair few different designs. And so that's for you, Xander. I brought up your car on the podcast.
Look, look. There's not many fantasy cars that I know of either, and it looks like your son follows your taste in the fantasy realm. But yeah,
I knew that was coming.
definitely catered to the kids. We've got skeletons on the wheels, a skeleton on the side. We've got a
Yeah.
engine at the front. It looks like we've got some sort of afterburners at the rear. So blue windows, pure fantasy. And look, a kid's dream, isn't it? That fantasy car there. So I think we
Oh, look,
can.
he loves it. He thinks it's fantastic. He's a Kyosho House fan in the making.
Look, and that's part of this hobby. We both have sons. We both have a son that's similar ages. Some of the things that we do with Hot Wheels is would just absolutely blow your mind. I let him open a Hot Wheels car, and he wants me to customize it for him, and he wants the whole car to be changed color. And I say to him, "Why don't we just pick a car that's already that color?" And he says, "No, I want this one in that color." So quite often, that we were going through a period where we were customizing, one a day for a while, and I would literally get the spray can out, and I would just spray paint the whole car, windows, wheels, and he absolutely,
He would have
you
loved
know what I'm
it.
saying? And are you sure this is what you want? And he's like, yes. And just the whole car just gets done the whole same color. And then I'll get a paint pen out, and he might say, I want a Sonic on top of the car, and I'll draw the worst picture of a Sonic head on top of the car. And then he has his Sonic custom colored Hot Wheels car, and he just goes about
Love
his
it.
day like he's having the best day ever. And I'm just,
Love
just
it. Love it. So good. My both of my kids, whenever they do come across, obviously they're fully aware of the, Dad collects cars, but quite often they come in and say, "Hey, Dad, just checking, just found this in my box of toys. Do you want to put that in your car collection?" And it's all chipped and destroyed, half squashed from standing on it and playing in the dirt.
Yeah.
I say, "No, that's okay. You can keep that one." "Are you sure?" "Yeah, no, absolutely. You keep that one. I'll keep my collection. That's your collection, But I love it. That's all part of it, isn't it? Really, that's how we started at the end of the day.
Absolutely, exactly. So, talking about your collection, did you see any mini GTs from the latest release that you thought you might like to add to that collection?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. So the October release came out. There was a few in the October release that I looked twice at. I didn't get so they had a couple of McLaren Formula One cars. I passed on those because I've picked up the McLaren Formula One cars before from Mini GT, so I didn't feel like I needed more of them. But I did pick up the old Lotus. I liked the old Lotus Formula One car that came out. I'm a bit of a Formula One fan, so I thought that was cool. Bit of history there. I did pick up the Liberty Walk GR86, I think it was, off the top of my head.
Yep.
So I picked that up as well. But I passed on everything else. I think there was a Bugatti Bolide in there, Bolide, however it's pronounced. Yep. I think there was a Vertex Supra. Vertex? Veilside. Veilside, I think.
Yeah, Veilside Supra, yeah.
Yeah, and there was the Camel Trophy Range Rover, which I feel like MGT's done a million times now. I'm sure there's differences between the ones they've released, but anyway, I passed on that as well. How about yourself? Did any of those take your fancy?
They have gone hard on the Camel Trophy release, and I don't know if you saw it. They've got a new release. I think it's a 5-car set coming out in the future. More details to follow. Not sure if you've seen that one, but I think it's 5 Land Rovers, all camel themed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if I have seen that. I did see the old sets that they had with they had a couple of figures with it and stuff like that. Did you see those ones? Probably.
Yeah. This one's only just been announced. Okay. I would have thought you'd be on top of it, not me. Veilside Supra. To tell you the truth, Veilside body kits. They do the RX-7. I love that one, but the R32 Veilside, the Supra Veilside, I think that body kits just don't do it for me. So anything Veilside apart from the RX-7, I tend to steer away from. GR86 wise,
I'm exactly the same when it comes to Veilside. Exactly the same.
Yeah, they've got some funky lips, and they're just. I think Pandem does the body kit a lot better.
Yeah. You were saying the Liberty Walk?
Yeah, the GR Supra. Look, I'm not a big GR86 fan. I do, however, have a Pop Race GR86. I have it for the reason that the casting is just so incredible. The engine bay. I could talk about it. It's probably not the time for it, as we will be moving on to Pop Race soon. But yeah, there's not one car from this Mini GT set that I think I'll pick up. I probably like the Honda Civic the most, but I already have a Mini GT Honda Civic, so there's no need for another one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a nice Type R. They did release 2 more 007 cars. Now, I know this is not your thing, but I, of course, pre-ordered both of them. But I have to give a special mention to the Lotus.
Look, I don't mind really the Lotus,
yeah. Yeah, did you have a close look at it?
I wouldn't say I had the closest possible look, but I did have a look at it, and I think am I correct in saying there were skis on the back or something?
Yeah, there was. Yeah. There was. It looked really good, I thought.
Look, I really honestly think, I agree with you there. And potentially this is one that I could even pick up as well, discard the 007 packaging into the bin because I don't need that, and just put it on display as a Lotus because, I think the skis look really good on the back as well. I think it's a nice piece. Yeah,
I think the colorway as well was real sort of retro. You really sort of felt like the car was in the era that it's in. So I thought they did a really good job with that. Yeah, so I did order those, but that's really about it from Mini GT. And I don't think they've done. Well, I haven't seen. Yeah, I would know. But there's definitely hasn't been a release from Kyosho House any more than what we discussed in the last episode, and there hasn't been anything from BBR either. So let's move straight into your beloved Pop Race.
Look, Pop Race is an amazing brand. They're doing some really good things, and we've just had our release. What have they released? They've released the Honda S2000. I think this.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if this is the first. I suppose convertible roofless
No,
RS2000
it's
that
not.
Pop Races. It's the second, is it?
It is the second, yeah, because I reckon I pre-ordered the first one. I think the first one was white.
Are you sure that one didn't
I
have
know
a roof, a hard top
there's one that's
on it?
white. No, there's one
Okay.
that's white that's got a roof, but there's one that's
Okay.
got the same wing, and it's definitely the second. Definitely the second. I mean, I feel
Yep.
like I shouldn't have to tell you this, but yeah.
You got me.
But then
Look,
you had me on the
yes,
Lambo.
exactly. Talking about it, the Huracan, it does look really good. It is only this week that you've realised that it does have the removable engine bonnet, but the front also flips forward. And when you saw that, you went,
Yeah.
"Wow, I didn't realise that the front flip forward on that Lamborghini." And I was like, "Well, isn't this about the fifth Lamborghini that they've released? And why have you not realised that yet?"
You know what's even funnier is I did not take your word for that. I went and did my own research and went, he's right. This is about the fifth, possibly even sixth release of this car, and yes, all of them flip up. I don't know why I missed that. I don't know why I missed it. I knew the engine cover came off, but I had no idea that the front end flipped up. Really cool. I wish that I knew somebody that got these models and really sort of demonstrated them, whether it be reels or pictures or something, somewhere on social media, so that I could actually see these things. But yeah, somehow I missed it.
You did miss my. I did get the gunmetal grey Lamborghini with yellow highlights, and I did feature it in a video with the front flipped up. So you definitely haven't been paying attention, nor have you been a good friend watching my reels either.
I'm going to go and
What?
see whether there is a real. No,
Look,
I believe you.
so this Lamborghini Huracan, it's in like a bronze gold color, and when I first saw it,
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of it, but the more I look at it, the more I want it. And it's actually because I was kind of thinking gold first, and then I've sort of looked at it a bit closer and thought to myself, hang on a minute, that's more of a sort of a bronzy color, isn't it? And I am 100% getting this one now, and it's just grown on me more and more. And yep, that one is getting pre-ordered for sure.
So, just on the colour, I actually liked the colour when I first saw it. However, I'm going to do a bit of a flip here. When I went to go and pre-order it, I thought, along the lines of our conversation, I thought, I'm going to go see if there's any of these others that, do they actually flip forward? Anyway, there was a bunch of other, obviously, Hurricanes, and yes, they did all flip forward.
Can I guess which color you preferred?
Yes, you can.
Did you choose the blue and orange one? Is it blue and orange?
I did not.
No,
I did not.
okay. For me, when you go Lamborghini, you're thinking like influencer, rich young kid, like bright colors for me. So personally, when I think Lamborghini, it's the blue and orange one. That's what I like.
Look, I
Enlighten me
do
on
like
your
the blue and
choice.
orange.
Yes.
I do like the blue and orange. And look, I still haven't pre-ordered either one yet, so I'm still on the fence.
Okay.
But I think I really liked the purple.
Okay. Got you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Purple is another classic Lamborghini. Well, I mean, there is no classic
Correct.
Lamborghini color, is there?
Well, yeah, but those, I know what you're saying. It's those bright, in-your-face colours that really work for Lamborghini. And I like this. It's not quite gold. It's not quite bronze. Yeah, I do like it, but it's definitely a lot more played down than your striking in-your-face colours that you sort of know you're used to with Lamborghini. Anyway, I like the purple. So I'm still on the fence. I haven't pre-ordered either yet because I sat there with both in the car and I wasn't going to order both. Sorry.
You were waiting for my advice, weren't you?
Look, yeah. So where do you sit? You're sitting with the gold, aren't you?
Look, I have the blue one already. I've got the blue one, blue and
Mm-hmm.
orange. I've got
Yep.
the sort of gunmetal grey with yellow highlights.
The one that I missed on your reel. Yep.
Yep. The purple one I didn't pick up. I don't think I will pick it up. I've got quite a few other purple pop race cars, but I think I will pick up the gold bronze one. I'm digging it. So, yep. And it looks like quite a unique color. I don't think I've got any other cars potentially in that color.
Well, maybe I'll get the purple so that when I come around to your place and we get the car mats out, the Boy Racer Ben mats, and we, sit there zooming out
Yep.
cars around the mat, we've got all the colours.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
Perfect. The solve done.
Look,
Mate, there's still one that you mentioned that I can't believe you didn't go through first, but I guess you're saving the best for last.
absolutely. And I'd say one that, will potentially create waves around the diecast scene, the same way that the Mercedes CLK GTR did, in the same way that the Mazda 747B will with its removable magnetic parts. And we've just had a pre-order release for the Pagani Zonda R in the classic carbon fiber with Italian green and red highlights. And you may not be aware, but in the release pictures, it has a removable rear end, but it also has a removable front end as well.
Yeah, righto, mate. Thank you for that. Just making sure I am 100% in the loop. Appreciate that. Look, this one is really, really nice. No denying it. I did notice, because when this came out, obviously, we talked to each other throughout the week. Oh, did you see the new release? And of course, you instantly messaged me and said, "Oh, did you see the new pop races?" And I had already started to type you a message at the same time saying it, and I was like, "Oh, I got there first." Yeah. But what I thought was funny was you immediately started saying, "Oh, so what don't you like about the Pagani?" And I was like, "I like the Pagani." And you were going in like, no. I need you to disagree with me on this because I will destroy you. This casting is so good. But I don't have any fight to give you. It does look like a really good casting. So sorry about that.
Look, the Mazda 787B, I have a sample of that. It's not been released yet. That is a really awesome casting. And I'm sure it'll be one that everyone will pick up and you don't want to miss out on. But I'm looking at the pictures from the Pagani, and I think that the details are refined even more. And I think the details they look really awesome. I know I've talked about this before. I'm not a massive supercar, hypercar guy, and I don't like carbon fiber a great deal covering a whole body of a car. So I'm going to have to contradict myself and say there's no way I'm missing out on this one, and I absolutely love it. Just, for what it is. And, I know the amount of work that's gone into making this casting, and the fact that you can buy a car like this still at a semi-affordable price when it comes to 164 diecast.
Yeah, it's funny you say about contradicting yourself, because that was my first thought when this got announced. I thought,
yes,
actually, this is a really nice casting, but Ben's not going to like this because he doesn't like supercars. He doesn't like carbon. He's just said that in the last podcast. And then you messaged me and said, how good is that Pagani Zonda? And I thought, okay, I guess this is a different story from this one. But look, I see where you're coming from. This one really is an exception. It's an exceptional casting.
Look, and there's plenty of diecast 164 cars that I don't like the real car in real life. I don't hate Pagani. I quite like Pagani. There's a lot of prestige behind it. But if you do an incredible casting of a diecast 164 car, there's no way that I can't pick it up regardless of what it is. And it almost gets to the point that it can influence my opinion on a car as well if they do a really nice casting. And there's been plenty of examples.
As in, you didn't like the real car, and then you got a really good casting, and now you like the real car. Is that the sort of thing you're talking about?
In a way, I appreciate it. Look, I wouldn't say I like the real car, but I really start to like that diecast piece. And a perfect example is the Pop Race 86. I have one with a pan and body kit with a magnetic removable hood. You can see right through the engine bay to the road underneath. And it's an Advan model, and it is just incredibly insane. And it really made me appreciate that car.
But what you're saying is you wouldn't actually go and buy a GR86 in real life. You
No, I
just like
still
the
wouldn't go on.
casting.
But yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I
The,
think,
it would take me a little bit to the point that I would show a little bit more favor. Like, I probably will appreciate Pagani a little bit more now that this casting's come out.
yeah, I actually think that you would buy a GR86, but only in certain circumstances. So, for example, if you're going out to dinner with your mates. No, I was going to say if you got one as a drift car or something like that, and you were planning an LS in it, or that's probably the acceptable GR86.
Or the fact that my father owns a Toyota 86 and it is his baby. And, when he doesn't want it anymore, maybe I will like it just for the sentimental fact. But
New
that's a whole
one or
nother
old one?
story. Older. So it's not a GR, it's just a Toyota 86,
But still, we're not talking.
2012-ish.
Oh, yeah, okay, 2012.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not talking like the
Oh,
original
no,
80s.
AE 86. No, if it was an AE 86,
86.
I'd be hovering around that all day.
Yeah, yeah, I was going to say. I was like, hey, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be plotting his death. No, not really. If you're listening, Ben's old Ben, we're not. That's not true.
He will be listening. Absolutely.
He will be listening. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Safest houses. This is 2012 86. So you're all good. No, that's good, mate. On the Pop Race front, one of the things that really I got quite excited about was Pop Race at the was it IDE they're at recently. They announced a whole heap of the new castings that they're working on, for 2026 and beyond. And there was some almost like it blew my socks off. I couldn't believe some of the cars that I personally have been waiting for somebody to do for ages. Prime example, top of the list for me is Tom Supra. Love
absolutely.
the Tom Supra.
Yep.
Stoked that Pop Race are going to take that on.
Yep, absolutely. That was definitely a highlight for me, for sure. Like you said, a lot of incredible castings coming from Pop Race, and that's why it's super exciting to see where they head, and some of the cars that we should see over the next few years will absolutely blow us away, and I think they're only going to get better and better.
Yeah, quite a variety as well. I mean, obviously, you showed us the sneak peeks from when you went to China of the flatbed tow truck, but quite a variety of race cars, drift cars, muscle cars, JDM. Yeah, really cool. Really, really cool. I'm really excited about some of the stuff that Pop Race are working on.
Look, I think we could dive a lot deeper into it, cover off on a lot of the castings that are going to be coming out from Pop Race, but I just don't think we have the time tonight. So maybe something that we can do a little special on later.
Sure, we'll talk about them as they come.
An event that you will be attending soon. We've got the ADE, and we've just had an exclusive car that you'll be able to pick up from the ADE. And if only there was someone that I knew that was going to the ADE that could also pick me up this car. Anyway, it's the Kyosho.
Yeah, can't think of anyone. Is that someone that we both know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
yes,
the car we're talking about is the Kyosho R32. It is the Bathurst winning Winfield Racing Team R32 from Kyosho. It's got the light up system, so the headlights light up and the tail lights light up. Iconic car, perfect for the ADE. Obviously, being maybe can't remember what year it was. I think early 90s, maybe 92 was the
90s.
I think
somewhere around that sort of year, I reckon.
Scaife was one of the drivers, Mark Scaife. Anyway, awesome car. We've also seen there's a future release coming from Kyosho. It's also another racing. It's the Castrol R32 being released soon as well. So yeah, clearly you'll be picking up the Kyosho R32 from the Expo.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Super pumped when this got announced. We spoke about this in the last podcast, but I love those classic liveries. I'm really excited to pick this one up. I think it's one per person though, which is unfortunate. So yeah, look, you can't all win, but anyway, yeah, I'll definitely do a reel so you can sort of see it in detail and that sort of thing once I got my hands on it. And that Castrol livery is the same as I reckon Pop Race have just done that one.
Pop Race have just done that one.
Yep.
I've actually got that on order and I'm expecting it to rock up in the next couple of days. I'll definitely pick up another Kyosho one. I think Mini GT's actually done it as well. I think 562, 572. So it's been done in Mini GT in the past as well. However,
okay, I missed the Mini GT one.
These two castings, I think from Pop Race and Kyosho, are quite nice castings. So yeah, two new releases coming out, and I've got the Pop Race one on the way, and I'll begin the Kyosho one as well. As we've touched on it before, R32 wise, I'll just about buy any R32, even if it's the same color casting from different brands. I'll pick them up.
Different brands. I tell you what, if you haven't looked at Kyosho, you are sleeping. You are absolutely sleeping on this brand. They do an incredible model. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people now have seen the motion light up system. Really cool as well. Obviously, the headlights light up, the rear lights light up when it sits on the motion stand. So that's really cool. Take that away even, and the actual casting just standalone, fantastic. Really, really good.
Absolutely, yeah. The Kyosho R34 GTR casting. I've got two of these castings, and yeah, like you said, it does have the light up system, but take the light up system away, and the lines on this R34, in my opinion, the casting, it's one of the best, if not the best, R34 casting. Another R34 casting I do like is the Inu casting.
Yeah. It's a good job.
I don't have one. I'm assuming all the castings that they have done, they probably don't roll. The Kyosho one does roll, but it is a really nice looking casting. They've done an awesome job replicating the R34 GTR.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. I can't remember if I've pulled the ones off the base to find out if they roll. But generally I don't buy an Inno. Well, generally I buy an Inno thinking that it's not going to roll. So we've discussed it before, but the stance generally doesn't allow it to roll, but it's kind of what makes it look great. So it's a compromise. But yeah, look, these Kyoshos, I was absolutely blown away the first time I got my hands on a 164. I used to collect the 118 scale Kyoshos, and they were equally good. Really, really amazing detail. Pumped to see them, really sort of building up that 164 space and really doing a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did have the pleasure of seeing the Ferrari F40 Kyosho 1 to 18 while I was in China, and I will say that it did make me question my life and think to myself, why am I not collecting 118? And then I kind of slapped myself across the face and said, no, 164, the rabbit hole's already deep enough. Do not even consider it.
Look at the price of the 118.
I didn't, and I'm not going to.
I used to own one. I used to own a F40 Kyosho. I had a 250 GDO as well.
Nice.
Impeccable.
Yeah.
But yeah, always been a fan of Kyosho. Look, what don't the Japanese do well? Let's just leave it there.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on. This is something that you can talk about, but this is a little segment we like to call Hot or Not. And what we're looking at this week, whether it's hot or not, is the Mini GT Racing Legends Mercedes set. So you can talk a little bit more about the set, and then we'll decide whether it's hot or not.
Okay, so you're talking about the Nürburgring. Is it Nürburgring? I think it was Nürburgring, where they pulled all the famous drivers together, all in Mercedes. each car had, a famous driver's name on it. There was, the likes of Senna, Prost, I think, was in the mix. There was a huge amount of obviously big names. Historic occasion.
Look, how
So
many
what's
how
your
many
question? It's
cars?
hot or not?
Is it hot or not? How many cars were in the set? Firstly, it's a set of I think maybe about
I think it was
20 cars.
Yeah, I want to say 16 off the top of my head. I thought it was about 16. Could be 20.
20. It's 20.
It's 20? Yeah, righto. There you go.
It's 20.
Trick question. Yeah, okay. Look, I think that they're for the right collector, they would have snapped this up without a second thought. For anyone that is a big motorsport, well, really, it's really only for those that are big motorsport fans. Obviously, for the casual collector such as yourself, it's you've looked at it and said, well, it's 20 of the exact same Mercedes casting with a different name written down the side. Why the hell would I pay? What was it? I think it was 500 AUD or something like that for this set. And look, I must admit, I did the same thing, despite being a motorsport fan, and I appreciated the significance of this race. But I'll be honest, I knew of the race, but I didn't know a lot about it. I actually found out more about it after the Mini GT set got released because I thought, whoa, who's buying this? And I had to actually look it up and learn a bit more about the history of it. So I appreciate the story behind it. I still wasn't going to drop the $500 on a full set of 20. So, look, I was surprised, to be honest, that Mini GT did this as a one whole set. It wouldn't have surprised me if they released one, this month and one the next and things like that. But yeah, releasing it as one whole set for, the whopping price that it came with, I thought, geez, I wonder how many they did of this, because surely the customer base that's picking up that whole full set of 20 is somewhat limited.
I'm not 100% sure, but I dare say they've sold out already. I don't think it's been released yet, but I believe it was 5,000 sets that they made.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Which isn't a great deal. I think it's probably bang on the
No,
money
not
for
globally.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I did do though, is they released one of these with Senna's name on it, and I did pre-order the Senna one just by itself.
Look, I think historically, even for myself, I think that's one that I'll have to pick up as well for sure.
Yeah,
and that'll be more than enough for me. Just the one Senna car.
Yeah. Look, I don't know if it really answers the hot or not question. I don't think it's hot in the sense of it's going to fly off the shelf to a million different collectors. But certainly, for the right buyer, it would be classified as hot.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think for the everyday, the fact they only made 5,000, for people like yourself and me, yeah, not hot, but 5,000 pieces. I think it's a hot piece, a hot set for those that want it. Yeah, absolutely.
And look, from Mini GT's perspective, it's a bit of a win-win. They don't need to sell that many units of them to be able to justify it, because it's the same casting, right? They haven't had the extra cost of numerous different castings. It's just a slightly different livery on each one, and off you go. So yeah, mate, yeah, I could appreciate why they released it to the public.
All right. So, in all honesty, it wouldn't have surprised me if you had picked that set up. But obviously, there wasn't enough FOMO on that set for you to dive in and get it. But has there been anything else?
I set the FOMO. So,
has there been anything else that has caught your eye? Not Mini GT. Anything out there that has caught your eye that has given you FOMO over the last week or two?
Yes, there is. I actually saw this for the first time. Look, it might have been before this, but the first time I remember seeing it was Ministry of Diecast was over at the China event that you were at, and he put up a post with or featuring the brand Mortal Model. Now, I've definitely heard of this brand before, but I've never really taken much notice. And believe it or not, the model that caught my eye was the, I want to say mid-90s, maybe early 2000s Tarago with what looked like a ludicrous body kit on it and these chrome wheels. And at first I went, what? Who's producing that casting? But it looked cool at the same time, and it looked very detailed.
I did see that model in China, and I had to battle with myself. I think the one that caught your eye was that classic red color, because we saw a lot of those red ones driving around in Australia. I had to battle with myself. Am I going to buy this? Should I? Shouldn't I? And to tell you the truth, the line was extremely long at Mortal Models. And it was moving very slowly, and that's probably the only thing that stopped me from buying it was the fact I couldn't be bothered to line up for it.
I've looked them up on AliExpress a few times and battled with myself about buying that Tarago, just purely for that reason. Exactly that reason is that you used to see them everywhere. Not to that level of customization, but I just thought it was wacky but cool. As I thought, I just feel like I want one in my collection.
I really liked it, 100%. Yeah, I really liked that model. Yeah.
So that's what caught my eye. But then I started looking at, okay, who is this model? What else do they do? And I noticed an S14 that looked really cool. But what I noticed is their packaging looks like it's elite, very similar to Micro Turbo. It comes in a nice acrylic case, the lovely cloth wrapped around it, an outside box that then goes into. So yeah, the packaging looks elite. Look, I really think when it comes to packaging, look, I get that there's a lot of brands that would want to minimize their costs so they're not passing on that cost to the consumer. But packaging and how you sell your product with packaging is really important, I believe. So yeah, that caught my eye. But the actual models themselves looked really detailed. I definitely want to pick some up at some point. I haven't purchased any yet, but I'm trying to work out what I will. I got one criticism, and it's I don't know if I'm sold on the wheels.
Okay, I thought you were going to say wing, because that massive wing on the back is a massive.
The wing is extreme.
For me, that is the only reason that I did not pick that model up in China. And I think that one it's got an opening hood.
Yes,
and
I believe so.
And it's got the 2JZ under the hood, and the engine details are incredible on this model. So it is definitely an awesome model to add to the collection.
So this is what gets me about the wheels. If the rest of the car wasn't so incredibly detailed, the wheels I wouldn't even notice. But because I started looking at these things and I guess doing, zooming up and, having a look closer at the details on the pictures that I was looking at, I don't know what it is. From a distance, the wheels look fine. But then once I zoomed up, I was like, hey, what's going on with the wheels? It's almost like they're not finished or something. And maybe I'm looking at a prototype picture or something. I don't know. But anyway, at some point I will pick up a Mortal model and I'll hold one in hand and have a proper opinion of it. Photos don't always do a car justice. But Mortal model, that's what's giving me FOMO.
Look, I might have to beat you to it and maybe even jump off and order one straight away after we finish this, because you are giving me FOMO. You are giving me FOMO again right now, thinking about it.
What about you, mate? Have you got anything that's anything else that's giving you FOMO?
Look, there is one car, and I literally saw this car earlier today, probably about 6 hours ago. I think I saw this, and it was from my friend. Handle on Instagram, Diecast Pablo, and he had three Mercedes, the 190E, all different colors. One was a pretty cool two-tone white over silver, maybe, or white over grey. But the one that really caught my eye was like a jet black Mercedes. You can't beat a black Mercedes, can you? Jet black Mercedes 190E. This is from the brand HKM, and I've never heard of HKM until today.
Me either.
So now you have. And this gave me so much FOMO that I think within seeing that reel, I had gone onto AliExpress, found it, double-clicked the side button on my phone, Apple Pay, and it was purchased probably within 15 minutes of seeing that reel.
Wow.
I think you've got a picture of it up in front of you now, and you have to admit,
I do.
I know you like a Mercedes 190E.
I do really like it. It looks like it's got the Evo kit on it.
Yes.
I'm not sure. Are they the original wheels? Or are they an aftermarket wheel?
They definitely look aftermarket, but I think they do it justice because you've got the massive brake rotors
Flares.
and calipers behind it. So you can see
I didn't
straight.
Even notice the brake calipers.
Yeah, you've got the rotors and the calipers. I dare say the rotors almost look slotted as well, so it's got some nice details. And looking at the picture, that the paint, the black Mercedes sort of gangster blacked out look really comes into effect here, doesn't it? And yeah,
it almost looks like a chromed black, or is it not?
I think it's just a super dark jet black, and I think it's just the light reflecting off it that just makes it look perfect. I saw this one, and within 15 minutes it was in the basket, and I look forward to receiving it and unboxing it, and we'll all get a chance to have a look at it if you check out my videos.
Yeah, I might. If you're lucky.
Yeah,
I might.
Well, you don't usually, by the sounds of it. So
it does look like it's got. Are they side exhausts as well coming out just in front of the rear wheels?
It does. It does look like it's got side exhausts. Details to be confirmed by myself.
Yeah, look, I'm with you, mate. I really do. I mean, now that you've ordered one, I'll probably just wait and see what it's like when it comes in. But I do really like it. I mean, even the Mercedes badge at the front. Window wipers. Antenna. It's got a lot of detail. A lot of detail.
I think you probably follow Diecast Pablo, so get on his IG and check it out. He's just done a reel. You see it up close.
No, I'll have to. Very good. Well, mate, now that I've added to your FOMO list, you'll have to check out the model.
Yeah, well, I have checked it out. I saw it in China. I know they look good, and that Tarago is definitely calling my name.
I wonder if I can do express posts just so I can get it to you first. I'd need to order these things before I tell you about them. No,
you do.
I've no issue.
But
I should have just got you to pick me one up in China. It would have been cheaper.
It would have been. It's also a good idea to check in with me because you quite often don't know, if the hood opens up or if, a piece moves, or like if an engine comes out of a Honda S2000 micro turbo and you need it, even though you've got the car, you've unboxed it, I don't have it, and you need to know the finer details of the car. I can always help you out there.
And look, there is a reason. There is a reason why I've kept you around, mate. Just a wealth of knowledge. Also, I needed a co-host.
You did. You did.
Look, anything else you want to cover off in our episode 3, or are we pretty much out of new releases?
Look, I think we've made a bit of a promise to keep it, close to an hour. So I think, we better save the rest for next time.
We're pretty much there. We're pretty much
well
there.
And truly there.
Well, mate, look, thank you for joining me again and giving me your opinions. I always appreciate the banter. It's good. I look forward to jumping onto episode 4. I think there's almost too much that gets released in the diecast world to cover it off in a single hour, but we'll continue to try.
We'll continue to try, even if we, just bring up the highlights, the things that are really catching our eyes, and hopefully highlight a few pieces that people can add to their collections as they're watching along.
One of the other things that I think we will look at covering off as well, I think in the future, is I know you're a big fan of your dioramas and things like that. So I think there's a few people that have sort of mentioned they'd like to see a bit more around the diecast accessories, dioramas, figures, whatever else it may be. So, I think we could probably add something like that in future as well.
Yeah, look, and you might have even seen, the American diorama figures that have just been released. You've got the influencer pack.
Yes, I did see that. I was trying to figure out which one you were, and I was like,
yeah.
nah, I don't think any of them. I did
Unfortunately,
see Johnny.
no Johnny's diecast, a very distinctive figure in that set with the
Super
beard,
distinct.
towers over everyone else, and very
Who
cool set there
else was
that
in
they've
there? Was there anyone
released.
else in there that was
Look, I know Ministry of Diecast. He was in there. However, I
okay?
don't think they replicated him too well. And I think I've picked out Landley as well. And then I think there's about three more that I just have no idea.
I looked at
There's
all of them and
definitely
I was thinking, who are these other people?
there's
But
definitely
obviously,
no
Johnny
young.
was
Yeah,
immediately.
yeah. Definitely no young strapping boy racer Ben in the set. That's for sure.
Nah. Well, that was immediately obvious, and I thought, well, maybe once we've done 5 episodes or something like that, you'll have enough of a following to garner, American
Hey,
diorama's attention. But
there might be a whole podcast American Diorama set to be released in the future. You know.
and then there'd be other people would be saying, which one do you think Boy Racer Ben is, and which one's Mini Car Realm? Or do you think it would just be blatantly obvious? All right, mate. Well, look, we will be back soon for episode 4. Thanks to everyone who checked out episode 2 for all the feedback. We really appreciate the feedback. Keep that coming. And we'll see you on the next one.
Awesome. Catch you later. Cheers.